Welcome to this episode of the China Brief.
Today is February 5, 2023.
From Bloomberg, China swings from contrite to confrontational in U.S. balloon saga. The U.S.-China relations have been strained after the U.S. shot down a Chinese high-tech balloon off the coast of South Carolina. China claims the device was a civilian climate research vehicle that drifted over American territory, and China has denounced the U.S.'s clear overreaction in using force. The balloon incident comes less than 3 months after President Biden and Xi Jinping of China agreed to resume talks, and it was seen as a step forward with the U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken visiting Beijing for the first time in more than 4 years. The dispute meant that Blinken had to postpone his trip until a later date yet to be determined. Both the U.S. and China have internal pressures to deal with President Biden facing bipartisan calls to show strength towards Beijing and Xi Jinping trying to demonstrate strong leadership after mass protests in November. The latest incident has shown that the relationship between the two countries is not heading in a positive direction and may deteriorate further. The future of U.S.-China relations is uncertain, with both sides trying to find a way to climb down without further escalation. The economies of both countries are linked, and trade between the U.S. and China was on course to break records in 2022, but ties could be tested again with the U.S. elections and Taiwan's presidential elections. The ball is in China's court, but it remains to be seen if Xi Jinping can make a conciliatory gesture to appease the U.S. and resume efforts to put a floor under the deteriorating relationship. From New York Times, China finds itself with limited options after U.S. shoots down balloon. In an effort to monitor and counter the United States military activities in the Western Pacific, China has deployed high-altitude balloons equipped with advanced sensors. The balloons, which float at an altitude of over 60,000 feet, are designed to provide early warning and tracking of American military aircraft and ships in the region. The balloons are part of China's growing efforts to expand its surveillance capabilities and establish dominance in the region. The deployment of these balloons has raised concerns among American military officials, who view it as a provocative act that could lead to increased tensions in the region. The balloons are seen as a potential threat to the security of American military assets, as they can monitor and track their movements. Some experts have also warned that the balloons could be used to gather sensitive military and intelligence information, which could be used to target American military assets in the region. The United States has responded to China's deployment of the balloons by increasing its own surveillance capabilities in the region. American military officials have stated that they are closely monitoring the situation and are prepared to take appropriate action to protect American interests. The deployment of the balloons is seen as part of a larger pattern of aggressive actions by China in the Western Pacific, which has raised concerns among many countries in the region about their security and the stability of the region as a whole. From Nikkei Asia, China to appoint Wu Jianhao as new Japan ambassador. China is planning to appoint a new ambassador to Japan, according to sources familiar with the matter. The current ambassador, Qin Yonghua, has served in the post for 5 years and is due to retire soon. Wu Jianhao, a former ambassador to France and veteran diplomat, is expected to take over the role as the new ambassador to Japan. He has previously served as the head of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs European Affairs Department and has extensive experience in European and multilateral diplomacy. The appointment of a new ambassador to Japan comes at a time when tensions between China and Japan have been rising, particularly over the East China Sea and the Senkaku Islands dispute. The appointment is expected to play a significant role in improving the diplomatic relations between the two countries and in resolving the ongoing territorial dispute. From South China Morning Post, why China's C-919 is years away from flying in the US, Europe, but not other regions. The C-919, China's first large passenger plane, has been in development for over a decade and has yet to make its first commercial flight. Despite this, industry experts believe that the C-919 is still years away from being able to fly to the United States or Europe. There are several reasons for this delay. Firstly, the C919 needs to pass strict certification requirements from aviation authorities in order to be cleared for commercial use. This process is known to be time-consuming and rigorous, and the C919 will need to meet the high standards set by these authorities in order to be allowed to fly to these regions. Additionally, the C919 will also need to compete with established aircraft manufacturers such as Boeing and Airbus, who have been in the industry for much longer and have a strong hold on the market. However, industry experts believe that the C919 has a better chance of succeeding in other regions such as Southeast Asia and Africa, where there is a growing demand for affordable and efficient passenger planes. The C919 has already received orders from several airlines in these regions, and China's aviation industry is expected to grow significantly in the coming years. In conclusion, while the C919 may still be years away from flying to the United States or Europe, it has the potential to be successful in other parts of the world. From South China Morning Post, why Chinese AI and semiconductors could fall decades behind under U.S. chip ban blitz. The U.S. has implemented a ban on the export of semiconductors to several Chinese companies, including Semiconductor Manufacturing International Corporation, SMIC, which could have a significant impact on China's advancement in the field of artificial intelligence, AI. The ban is a response to allegations that SMIC has been working with the Chinese military and providing advanced semiconductor technology to the country's armed forces. This is part of a broader effort by the U.S. to limit China's access to cutting-edge technology and prevent its military buildup. The ban will prevent SMIC from purchasing the equipment and software necessary for advanced semiconductor manufacturing. As a result, the company's ability to produce cutting-edge semiconductors will be severely limited, hindering its ability to produce the microchips required for AI applications. This could slow China's progress in the field of AI, putting it years behind its global competitors. In addition to the impact on China's AI development, the ban will also have broader implications for the country's tech industry. China's chip manufacturing industry is heavily dependent on foreign technology and investment, and the ban will force companies to look for alternative sources of technology and funding. This could cause significant delays in China's progress in the field of semiconductor manufacturing and put the country at a disadvantage in the global race to develop advanced technology.